If you were blessed to have a Sefer Torah, which room in your house would you keep it in? In Parashat Shoftim, the Torah gives us a commandment relating to the king. And it shall come to pass, when he sits on his throne and rules the people, he must write 2 Sifrei Torah. And then the Torah goes on to say, and he must read from the Sefer Torah on every day of his life. The Chatam Sofer explains that from here we learn that the king would need to consult with the Sefer Torah on each and every day to guarantee that Torah law would guide and inspire him while he rules the people. Now Rashi tells us what the king did with the 2 Sifrei Torah he wrote. One of them was to accompany him wherever he would go, and the other he was to keep in his treasury, where all his money and his jewelry was. So we see therefore that the Torah resided in that part of the palace which stood for materialism, in order to guarantee that when the king would consult with the Torah on every day of his reign, spirituality would triumph over materialism. And ultimately, the word of Hashem would guide the king in all ways. This was the way in which Joseph ruled Egypt, as is described to us in the book of Breshit. The Torah tells us how, immediately after revealing his true identity to his brothers, Joseph charged them with the responsibility to go back to Canaan and to tell their father Yaakov that Joseph had said, Samani Elokim la'adon l'chol Mitzrayim, God has made me to be a lord over all Egypt. The Kotzker Rebbe beautifully reads it this way: Samani Elokim is not God has made me, but rather I have made God. I have made God to be Adon l'chol Mitzrayim, the Lord over all Egypt. Meaning that in every decision that Joseph took, for every policy that he made for Egypt, he was inspired by one single consideration. What is it that Hashem would be wanting me to do? And in this way, he guaranteed that it was actually Hashem who was ruling Egypt. Just like the ancient kings of Israel, let us guarantee that in every decision we take, in all the policies we have in our homes and in our workplaces, we will be guided and inspired by what Hashem wants us to do. And in addition, bearing in mind where the Sefer Torah was in the king's palace, let's always ensure that our ruchaniyut, our spirituality, will be the priority of our lives. Shabbat Shalom.